Dozens of Blue Mountains residents gathered in Wentworth Falls for another Politics in the Pub session. Local MP Trish Doyle was joined by Deputy State Opposition Leader Michael Daly to face questions from Labor Party members, supporters and trade unionists. The popular topics up for discussion were TAFE, health and Badgerys Creek Airport, and the questions weren't all friendly.
How can Labor stand there with a straight face and say they're going to build an agribusiness hub by covering all of our market gardens that produce 50% of Sydney's fresh produce with concrete and building a 24/7 airport for big business?
There wasn't a spare chair. There were people walking in looking for chairs. That's great, and that indicates to me that there's something happening in the suburbs. People are engaged in politics, and people get engaged in politics and in public life when they're worried, when they're concerned, when they're looking for something better.
When Mr Daly raised concerns about housing affordability in Sydney, he brought up Asian workers, with one party member suggesting he made a racist comment.
Our young children will flee, and who are they being replaced with? They're being replaced by young children, young people from typically Asia with PhDs. So there's a transformation happening in Sydney now where our kids are moving out and foreigners are moving in and taking their jobs. And I don't want to sound xenophobic. It's not a xenophobic thing, it's an economic question.
I am deeply concerned by the comment you've just made about Asians taking over Sydney. I was just wondering if you wouldn't mind clarifying your comment a bit.
And it's just a statement of fact that our young people are moving out of Sydney because they can't afford to live here, and they're being replaced by international workers. Most of those are from Asia, they're from China, from Indonesia, Malaysia, Singapore, and it's not a bad thing because Asian kids are coming to work here. It's a bad thing because I'd like my daughter to be living in Maroubra rather than St Kilda.
Meanwhile, the Labor Party has been in full election mode, not just because of the upcoming state election in March, but a crucial by-election in Wagga Wagga after Liberal MP Darryl Maguire quit following a corruption scandal last month. The Wagga Wagga by-election will be held on the 8th of September. Mr Daly says that he's confident Labor can take the seat, even though it's been in the hands of the Liberals since the 1950s, and even if they're unsuccessful, a strong performance could be good signs ahead of the next state election.
It's not a litmus test at all for Luke Foley. This is a good gauge, it's a good test of what people in the regions are thinking about the Berejiklian government.
Daniel Pizarro, 3 News, Wentworth Falls.